What if the absolute worst day of your life was actually the best thing that ever happened to you? Sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore today. A story about how one single disastrous day can completely flip your whole life around for the better. I mean, seriously, just think about that for a second. One tiny decision, one moment you had no control over. It's a really powerful idea, and it's right at the heart of the story we're digging into. So our story kicks off on a Thursday morning. But this wasn't just any Thursday. This was the morning of a huge, potentially life-changing job interview. The stakes, they couldn't be higher. The game plan seems simple enough. Pretty solid. Just nail that 10 a.m. interview. You've got all the feelings swirling around. Excitement, some nerves, a whole lot of hope. The plan is to get up early, hop on the bus, and show up cool, calm, and collected. Seems foolproof. And there's the clock, 8:55 a.m., 5 minutes to get to the bus stop. On paper, that's more than enough time. But that little phrase, "or so I thought," yeah, that pretty much tells you that everything is about to unravel. And this is exactly where that perfect morning just completely transforms into a frantic race against time, a true cascade of calamity. Just look at how fast it all falls apart. At 8:55, the day is full of promise. Literally 1 minute later, disaster strikes. An hour after that, you're stuck in traffic, and hope is fading, fast. By 10:07, it really feels like it's all over. 7 minutes late. So, the first domino falls. The bus, the very cornerstone of the whole plan, is early. Can you imagine that feeling of just powerlessness, watching your perfect schedule just drive off without you? And here it comes, that first wave of regret. It's that classic what-if thought that, let's be honest, we all know so well. It's that little voice in your head that just replays the mistake, wishing for a do-over you know you can't have. Okay, on to plan B, a taxi. And the driver is perfectly nice, totally chill, and completely unbothered by the clock ticking down. This contrast between the driver's calm and our protagonist's rising panic just makes the whole situation even more intense. 2 minutes to go. The taxi's useless. This is that moment, the moment for a desperate, heroic dash. It's the final, frantic attempt to salvage the morning. You can just feel the adrenaline kicking in. And then the taxi driver drops this prophetic, almost cinematic warning. It's a simple statement of fact, right? A general truth. But in this context, it just feels like a dark premonition. And yep, there it is. The final inevitable disaster. After all the running, the stress, the panic, a slip and a fall. It is the literal and figurative rock bottom of this terrible, terrible morning. But this is where the story takes a fascinating turn. This moment of absolute failure, of hitting the pavement, is somehow the exact moment a new door begins to open. So let's just take stock of the situation, shall we? They arrive 7 minutes late, they're out of breath, sweaty, and even bleeding a little. This is not the picture of a competent job candidate. This is a picture of total defeat. And the receptionist's words just seem to seal the deal. It's the confirmation of the worst fear. All that struggle, all that panic was for absolutely nothing. The opportunity is gone. But then, the twist. Against all logic, against all expectations, an invitation. A manager appears, and instead of being turned away, our protagonist is waved inside. Hope just flickers back to life in the most unexpected way. So, why did this happen? Why did a whole series of disasters lead not to failure, but to success? Well, let's connect the dots and see how it all makes a weird kind of sense in hindsight. So on one side, you have the plan, this nice, straight, clear path. On the other, you have the reality, a chaotic, winding journey. But look at the outcome. It's the same. This just shows us that the path to success isn't always the one we map out. And here it is. This is the key. The manager's feedback reveals everything. They didn't succeed in spite of the chaotic arrival. They succeeded because of it. The story, the determination, the sheer memorable mess of it all, that's what made them interesting. This entire story is a perfect example of serendipity. What looked like a string of just terrible luck was actually a series of fortunate accidents, guiding them to exactly where they needed to be, at exactly the right time. And this is the powerful takeaway. Sometimes, when our carefully laid plans are just completely blown up, it's not failure. It might be a course correction. Maybe it's the universe forcing us onto a different and ultimately better path. So, just as a missed bus changed everything in this story, I want you to think about the chance encounters in your own life. That one person you met, maybe completely by accident, if that moment had never happened, who would you be today?